Hi everyone, it's Deborah back again with another video. Now this time I'm redoing a video that I did probably 2 years ago, and it's one of my, in fact it is the most watched video that I've ever done, and it's what to do with old book pages. Now I recently had a comment about it, and I do get comments from time to time, and somebody said that how I'd gone through it was too fast. So back in the day when I first started, I tried doing sped up videos with a voiceover because I thought that's what people wanted, but apparently that was a bit quick. So I thought that I would just give it a go again, and I'll do it slowly this time so that you can all see what I'm doing. So what I have here is some book pages. Now I'm going to take a few of them and I'm going to just fold them up and see what I can make with them. I also have some washi tape. This is the washi tape I used at the time because I had somebody comment to say, why are you wasting washi tape on that? As you can see, almost 2 years later and I still haven't used any of this washi tape. So I thought that I will just get on with it. So the first thing is just to tear a few book pages out. Now you could do this with one, but I like the thickness that you get when you use more than one book page. Doesn't matter what size it is. I've just folded it in half. I haven't worried that the edges are raggedy like this. And then after folding it in half, I'm going to fold up the bottom part into triangles. So I'm putting the edge against the fold and just folding that up and repeating on the other side. Now what that does is give you something that looks like one of those, paper aeroplanes or boats that we used to make as kids. Now once you've done that, fold up from the bottom, and I will go later, but I'll just stick it for now, but later I'll sew down the center. But you don't have to sew, you could just glue. So down the center I'm going to put some glue just on the peak bit here, and then I'm going to fold it up like that. Now effectively what that has done is create two pockets, one on each side. Now I'll just grab a piece of paper to stick in there so you can see. I've been playing around with this Scrap Boys paper. It's a Christmas thing. Just doing a few things with it today, but I'll just cut it and use it as a bit of a tag so you can see. So you'd have one in here and then you'd have one in that side. I think that it looks nicer if you sew down the center, but that's a personal preference, but that is one idea. Now I'm making this with book pages that are quite large, and you could make something smaller if you like. My book page is about 7 inches across, so it's going to be quite big to put in a journal. But for the fact that I'm trying to show you what to do, I thought that it was a good idea to use something that was bigger so you can clearly see. So that's one of them. Now with the next pieces, I'm going to tear this down a little bit because the other one's a bit big to fit in my journal. So I'll take a strip off just using my ruler, and then I'm just going to fold up from the bottom and put some washi tape across there. I want to put the washi tape there so that I create the thickness on the edge where things are going to be put in and out, so that they don't get caught as you're putting them in and out. So by folding it up again, maybe 1.5 inches, I've now got this really thick piece here, so when I put things in and out they're not going to get caught. If I just leave the book pages not stuck down with washi, something can get caught on that, and I don't like that. I like it just to be down. And then all the way across the front I'm going to stick some washi just to the edge. And then I'll just cut these bits in here. So I'm just cutting up from the bottom to where the edge of the pocket is and folding it over, and then fold these around. and then you can just either trim this bit of washi up or fold it up, whichever one you want. And now that has created one pocket, and was, you know, quite a good look to put all of that in your journal and have your things sitting in here. But if you want to create more pockets like this, you can. So all you need to do now is just create a fold. So I'm just picking up a piece of the book page in the center, just sort of folding it up, and then let it push up. So I'm creating another pocket up the top here. Okay, and then I will put some washi on that as well. So again, I'm just going down on top, just on the edge of that, and I'm making sure I'm not catching this pocket. This washi is quite wide, so if you used a thinner washi it may be better. But as I said, this is the one that I used when I did the original video, and I've still got plenty of it left. And then fold all that over. And now you've got a pocket in here, which is a short pocket, so it goes in maybe an inch. So that's good for little things. You can put bigger or littler things. And then if you wanted to make this a pocket as well, then put some more washi on there, so when you stick it in your book you can get it. I'm not going to worry about that today. I'm just going to create the one, and I'll just quickly chop some of this so you can see. So you'd have a couple of things in here, and you might have a longer thing in here, or you might not. It's plenty big enough for whatever you want. So that's another method. Now with the next one, you need to create a square. So to create the square, I'm going to start by trimming the page down. I use the writing on the page just to make that into a square or into a rectangle, and then fold it up corner to corner like this, and then rip that off, and that becomes my square. Now before I do that, I'm going to put another couple pages on it. So in order to make them the same size, I will lay this one over the top, and I will then use my ruler and tear them off. So I've just got to fold down the center with that. Just pull those bits off there. And then I'm going to fold the peak back so that it sits at the bottom of the piece. And then I'm going to fold these edges in. Now because this is thick, I'm going to use my ruler and fold it over the ruler. See how I made a crease in there? And all I did was put my ruler, so it's from the peak down, and then pull all those pages over, and it creates a nice fold. And then I can bring this over here and this over here, and then I'll put some washi tape on it. I mean, this is just creating an envelope, and there are plenty of ways to create an envelope. This is just a different way, not using my envelope punch board or a template or anything like that, just free folding. And you'll get all sorts of little sizes of envelopes depending on the size of your square doing this. And then I'll just put the washi tape down, again down there. And I'll do what I did before, which is just to cut into the peak where the corner is of the envelope, sorry, not the peak, just into that corner with my scissors. And again on here, and now you can fold that up. It will fold up, it's only tiny. And now I'll fold it over to the back. So I would make these to actually stick down onto a page or an embellishment in your journal. I wouldn't make them to be freestanding, in other words tuck that in, unless I tidied the back up somewhat. Now for the top part, I'm just going to grab that washi again, and I'm going to put it over the top. So that's just over the top. And what I like about using the washi over the paper is it gives you a really nice look, particularly if you've got this see-through washi. You can still see the book page in there. And then I'm going to clip this down, just down to the peak. So I've just put a cut in the washi, and now I'm going to fold that down. And same on the other side. Now I'm left with this little bit of washi here. Let's clip that off, and then I'll make sure that my sides are all tucked in. And that's given me a little envelope, and again I've got this fold at the top so that nothing will get caught when I'm trying to put things in and out. And last time I decorated the fronts of them, so you can certainly do that. And I'll put the link to the video when I put this up, so you can see the original and have a look at what I did back then. Now the next one I'm doing is actually just to, again, chop some of this off. And now I'm going to fold this in half this way. In fact, I'll just check, yep, that's fine. I've got a couple sheets there. So I'm going in half this way, and then I'm going to go half the other way. So I've now got a piece of paper, or two pieces of paper together, that are folded into quarters. So you can see, fold and up. Now you want to turn this so that your edges, where it's all loose, are in the top right hand corner. So this goes down here, and then I'm dealing with two pieces of paper, so I need to make sure I get both levels. Take the top piece, which in my case is 2, but you could do this with 1, and fold it back so that you've got a triangle like that. Now with the next one, or in my case 2, fold it back, but this time just fold it so that you've got maybe 1/4 of an inch or a bit more. I'm probably more looking at, you know, maybe 3/8 of an inch, so that you've got it staggered. You want this, and if it's not, just correct it. You want this piece here to be at right angles with this piece. So you can see I've got a big right angle triangle, then a little right angle triangle, and then with the last piece I'm going to make a smaller right angle triangle again. Now try, not really necessary, but it's good if these two are about the same size, so that each piece is roughly the same distance away from each other. See that? Now I've got 3 triangles there. I've got 1, 2, 3, and that. Now that seems okay. I think I'm a tiny bit crooked, but it'll do. Now with these ones, you could leave them folded out like this. So just tuck them in and have the folds here and here. I prefer to fold mine in when I'm doing this. So I'm taking those triangles and I'm just flipping them inside rather than outside. And the last one, you might have to open your pages up like that and flip them inside. Now to make sure nothing comes apart, I'm using my washi again. So I'm going to take a little bit and go to my tiniest triangle and stick this down. I want to stick it on that angle there. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the next size and do the same thing. This just makes sure that your triangles don't flip up when you're using it. So I'm putting it across and stick it down. And then for the last one, I'm going to repeat. So I'm going to take a little bit of washi, doesn't matter how big it is. And because it ripped, I'm going to just take this other little piece here and put it, yeah, I'll put it probably here like this. You're not going to see that, so it doesn't have to be completely covered. And I'll put a little bit down here too. Now I need to fold all that up again. So I'm going to refold everything so that all my triangles are still in the same place. Now I want to be able to put things in here. So even something big like this, probably not that, it's a bit too big. Let's say I want to put this in here. Now if I taped right down to the sides, I wouldn't get this in because I wouldn't have the room to put something like that in to each of these. So I'm just going to tape across the bottom part here. So, and again, you could do this with glue if you wanted. I'm going to take my washi, which just happens to be a really good size for doing this, and I'm going to stick it down like that so that it's on the bottom of the paper. Now I'm going to take it and fold this little bit up again. I will clip that before I do it. It'll make my life easier if I clip it. Roll that up and then roll these over the sides. And again, I've just got a little bit of tidy up to do down the bottom to bring that up to where it needs to be. Pretty easy. Okay, now I've got a piece that is going to hold, and I'll show you that I can fit this down into it, so I can still get things in. If I tape it all the way up here, I'm not going to be able to, but what I do need to do is to tape this edge here. So you may want to have a smaller piece of washi to do that, or if you've got a larger piece like I have, and just cut it off with the ruler or a pair of scissors, and then I'm going to put my ruler lengthways and just trim a little bit off, and now I've got a skinny piece. Now I'm going to put it down here to tie that up. I'm going to take this other piece and I'm going to put it down here as well. So I'll start by putting this on. Now I want to have this at an angle so that it covers it up. So now I've done that, I've still got a bit of a mess here, but that's okay because washi will help you out all the time. Put this across and stick that down, and now I've got something that I can slip things right into. So you've got a triple pocket there. Now again, if you don't like this, because I've used two of them, then just pick your washi up and repeat. And my washi is splitting apart, and I don't want a part that's split, so I will just take the time to rip that off. Put this on here. Now I'm not covering the second pocket. I don't want to block that in. I just want to put that down like that. And then do another cut through to the peak and turn it over. And you'll see that's what it looks like on the back. And then I'm bringing it back over here like this. Now again, you can fold that little bit over or you can cut it off. And I've got another little pocket, and it's not going to come apart. And it's nice and wide, you can fit things in, but it's also nice and secure. So that's another pocket. Now with this next one, I'm going to do something different again that I didn't do last time. And I'm going to take my piece of paper, so let me just grab a few bits of paper and again trim them, probably trim them here. So that's around about 5.5 inches wide. So this will fit in a journal. It might be a bit long to fit in a journal. It's 9.5, but I can also cut it off later. So with this one, I'm just going to take my page. Now I've got, how many pages have I got? Oh, I'll keep the map. I'll get a different page. So I've got 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me get some more. These have got a lot of fish and things on them. Try this one I'll do. I want 4, so I'll just measure that up and rip it again. Now what I'm going to do before I start is tack this down. because at some point when I do this I might cut it again. Now I've really torn that crookedly. Let me just fix it up a little bit. I don't know what I managed to do that, but I did. Okay. Now I want to hold these pages together, so I'm using a bit of the washi that I pulled off last time just to wrap it round. I've got a couple of spare bits here. When I go to use this, I will then decorate the front. This is just a temporary holding measure. And now I want to create some layers and some levels. So I'm going to take my first page and I'm cutting it, or rather ripping it down, just so that it's about maybe a quarter in size. So that's one. Then I'm going to take the second lot, and this paper's ripping quite nicely. So I'm just going to freehand rip that down again, and then the third one. And I'm going to do like the last quarter that I'll take off this one. Now you probably need to put some washi on the inside, or you could staple them together or something to hold them. I forgot that the washi just on the outside wouldn't hold every piece. So I'm just going to now fix my mistake, because everything is fixable. And put a little bit down here, and then go to the next piece. Make sure that it's in the right spot because it's moved a little bit. And put some down in the center here. Now when you've finished, see how I've inked that? I want to ink it so it's quite dark. So I'm getting contrast between the papers. Now I'll fold this over and I'll stick it down on the back here. I'm going to rip the washi in half here because I don't need it all, or wherever it rips, which happens to be this bit, and that's cool. It will hold it until I stick it into a book. So again, this is just for temporarily holding it. You could use sticky tape or anything for this. You don't have to use washi if it's not something that you want to use. I'm going to put this bit down here as well, just to really give it a good hold while it's waiting to have a new home in a junk journal. Now, the other thing I want to do is I'm going to fold this down too. So I'm just going to take my book page and rip it off the edge. Now, because I've got that washi on there, I'll need to peel it back and cut it so that I can continue to rip this book page off. And then where's my sponge here? And because I've now got this little edge on here, I want to make sure that that is stuck down. Now what I've got now is 4 pockets. So you can see I can put this in here, one in there. Obviously I won't use these, this is just samples. And then one in here, and I'll have to cut this one down a bit. And don't freak out about the fact I'm just randomly chopping this paper. It's actually bent, so I can't use it in anything because it's been crushed. That's why I just have it on the table to use as samples. There you go. So that would go into your junk journal, and you'd have 4 really nice pockets in there. I love the way that this ink stands out from the rest of the book page. Let me bring that to camera so you can see. See how I've really inked that edge up? Got it nice and dark, and it'll stand out. And then when I put it in the book, I'll probably put something down this side. I may not leave this washi because that's just a temporary one to hold things in place. Thanks very much for watching. I hope that's helped. If you found the other video was too quick, and I've explained some more very slowly of how I've done these. Until next time, this is Deborah. Cheers.